The NOAA's National Hurricane Center, NHC, based in Miami, has told Americans along hurricane-prone parts of the coast to get an escape plan in place. Hurricane Irma continues to move west-southwestward towards the Leeward Islands. It continues to be a Category 3 hurricane with 120 miles per hour winds. The hurricane is expected to strengthen on Tuesday night. The latest update from the NHC said there is an increasing chance of seeing some impacts from Irma in the Florida peninsula and the Florida Keys later this week and this weekend. In addition, rough surf and dangerous marine conditions will begin to affect the southeastern U.S. coast by later this week. Otherwise, it is still too early to determine what direct impacts Irma might have on the continental United States. However, everyone in hurricane-prone areas should ensure that they have their hurricane plan in place, as we are now near the peak of the season. The most recent NHC maps show that tropical storm force winds could reach Miami on Florida's southeastern tip in 5 days' time. The storm track reveals that Hurricane Irma could be nearing Cayo Coco on the northern coast of Cuba by Saturday, September 9th. Cayo Coco is just over 400 kilometers, about 250 miles, away from Miami in Florida. The NHC has said that Irma is expected to bring dangerous wind, storm surge, rip currents and downpours to the northeastern Leeward Islands. The most recent update said, on the forecast track, the center of Irma will move near or over portions of the northern Leeward Islands Tuesday night and early Wednesday. But after this point, long-range spaghetti models are showing a wide spread of possible tracks because there is still uncertainty over where Irma will go next. Meteorologist Ryan Moore said the latest Jeff's model system continued trend west with many solutions over South Florida and in eastern Gulf of Mexico. He said there was a similar track from the ECMWF, adding, South Florida should closely monitor progress of Hurricane Irma. It is not yet known where and when Hurricane Irma might strike the U.S. coast next week. It could also curve back out to sea. The Weather Channel said, for now, all residents along the East Coast and Gulf Coast should monitor the progress of Irma. Locations from Florida into the southeast U.S. have the potential to see impacts from Irma first, but that is subject to change. AccuWeather-led long-range meteorologist Paul Pastelok said Irma is a serious threat for the Caribbean islands and United States. Hurricane warnings have been issued for Antigua, Barbuda, Anguilla, Montserrat, St. Kitts, Nevis, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Martin and St. Barthélemy. Hurricane watches are in effect for British and U.S. Virgin Islands, Guadeloupe, Puerto Rico, Vix, and Culebra. Dominica is under a tropical storm warning. In a recent NHC discussion, forecaster Robbie Burke said the hurricane would turn westward later today and then west-northwestward within 48 hours. He said, it's becoming increasingly likely that Irma would maintain a west-northwestward heading on days 3 through 5, and the track guidance shifted significantly westward on this cycle during that period. Remarkably, the track models are very tightly clustered through day 5, which increases the confidence in the westward shift of the latest NHC forecast. Weather expert Dr. Marshall Shepard-Weather said Hurricane Irma is a grave threat to the Caribbean and appears to be an equally worrisome threat to the U.S. mainland. As the National Hurricane Center notes, it is too early to know the specific where and when of downstream impacts on the U.S. mainland, he wrote on the Forbes website. However, the statement about models being clustered indicates that there is growing consensus on how meteorological patterns are setting up to steer the storm. My meteorological eye sees a threat to Florida to the Carolinas and possibly even a slight chance of moving into the Gulf of Mexico.